Hello there, Aries. How are you today? Let's take a look at what is influencing your partner. Is it a person, a place, a thing? Is it his job, his thoughts, or her, of course, right? It could be about her as well. Let's take a look. All right, now remember, use your judgment, your intuition. Take the messages that you receive from this reading and apply it to your situation accordingly. All right. Here we go, bottom of the deck here, we've got Six of Swords. So your partner is choosing to move, right? Move away from a current situation. Maybe the fight that you guys have just had, you know, they basically tried to move and move out or get away from the turbulent situation that you guys were kind of in, right? So obviously being influenced at this point by everything that's happened, right? The emotions, the words that were used. You've got the King of Swords here, whose energy is very direct, right? And so what influences this person is logic, right? So if they see things in front of them, that's how they deal with it. They nitpick and strategize and break things down into their little components and come up with their decisions. Their heart is not what influences them. Their feelings do not influence them. What influences them is the logic, right? So if it, you know, and they're going to say it. The problem with that is they're going to say things the way they want to say it, but it's not necessarily in the nicest way. And so if you're on the receiving end, you may feel criticized. You may feel like you're being attacked. And so that is the energy around this person, right? They don't put emotion in that situation. Now you're coming in as the King of Wands here, and this is influencing that. You've got two really super powerful energies. The King of Wands is another one that is led by passion, right? A very passionate person. And neither of you are okay with telling the other what to do. So you have a lot of clashing here. This is a very passionate king because they are the inspiring ones. They're the ones that move forward. They really are the doers and the shakers. They're the ones that walk into a room, everybody notices. So you've got two opposing forces here, and that's why you guys are clashing. And one of you became so prideful, and they said, nope, I'm out of here, right? I'm walking away. I'm walking away from this situation. This person is very fiery, right? So that's why I say that it's you. That's why I'm saying that it's you, Aries. This is a Leo card though, but still. All right, Two of Pentacles. We've got some balance issues here. So both of you are trying to balance out the powers in the relationship, right? Because you're both very strong, very alpha-like, and you know, masters of your suit. This person is very critical. This person's very passionate. This person, if you cut this person down, if you criticize this person, they'll go crazy on you. Like, they will literally attack back, right? And so you see what I'm saying? This is the master of this suit, and this is the master of this suit. And so they don't back down. This is why there's turmoil and grief in the situation, because you've got two really super powerful energies competing here. You've got the Page of Pentacles here, and you're wishing, they are wishing that somebody will come forward for an apology, right? That they want to resolve these things, but they don't know how. The Page of Pentacles here, they want to present something material, right? To kind of like an olive branch. Not necessarily like, if this was the Page of Cups, it would be like a heartfelt and wishy apology. That's not them. They want something concrete, and they want to present it, you know, and present logic into this situation. But they know that dealing with the King of Wands is kind of tough, because sometimes it's not about logic with this person. It's about that passion, you know. They're going to do what they want to do, and they can be very temperamental. And then you've got the King of Pentacles. So you got a lot of king situations here. Lots of really super powerful energies here. This is about balance and maturity, and you know, they try to control their temper, right? But the problem is that, you know, they're usually very level-headed, right? But then the problem is this person's logic, this person's, you know, intellect, right? Their ability to sense BS, that comes into play, and then they go out and then they say what they want to say, and they express what they want to express, and that creates a lot of problems. Yeah, and so here, what's happening is they may have checked out from your situation, kind of pulled themselves away from the situation, because, you know, this is just not serving them, right? This is something that's really beating up their ego, right? Because they want stability and they want logic, no passion or emotion. So they're like, you know what, I'm out of here. So they go into hiding, and you probably think they've ghosted you, but they haven't. They're going to come out soon, and hopefully during their time away, they've gained a little bit of introspection. They've used, you know, they've used their intuition, hopefully, and, you know, found a bigger meaning to this current situation, right? Kind of set their head straight. So they're ready to come out. and they're going to shine their light and share that with you. All right, High Priestess. So this again is about intuition. So they left, went off in their little man cave, woman cave, and they gained the intuition. Because things were a mystery, like this person is all about logic and they're not understanding. Why are we fighting? Why are we having conflict? Why are we not together? I don't understand, right? What's going on in this situation that we continue to have such a fiery interaction? So they're using their intuition to really make sense out of everything that's going around them. Now what's influencing them is this idea of having to change their mind, right? Page of Swords is changing their, like a new way of thinking, right? As a king, they're kind of set in their ways. And so they're having to, find a new way of thinking, and they're going to be resistant to it. The other thing that this card can be about is spying. They could be spying on you, looking at social media, but obviously you're spying on them too, because we're doing this reading. We're trying to figure out what's going on in their head. This can also mean information, right, that's coming towards you. They may message you, but they can also be looking at your social media, kind of spying on you, even asking around friends that you have, that shared friends, family members, asking them, how are you doing, right? Because they're too prideful to come to you and say, hey, let's talk about this right now, because you've got two really powerful energies. Really, you've got three, but you've got these two competing forces here. And they're asking about you. They want to know how you're doing, right? So they're not completely out of your life. So here you've got the Page of Cups. So someone is really hoping that someone apologizes first. Okay? Both of you are again, masters of your suit, and you're not willing to back down. But one of you is hoping that someone will back down and apologize. Come forward with an apology and everything will be okay. That's what I hear. If you just come forward and bend at the knee and just apologize, everything will be fine. But the problem is neither of you are going to bend at the knee because you're too powerful. Now here's what's going to happen here. Someone is going to come forward with the energy. This is the divine feminine energy, right? And they want to create. They want to create a happy future, a more solid, stable relationship, right? So there's the influence of the divine feminine. This is about creation. This is about intuition, right? This is about love, nurturing, comfort. So that's what's headed. Once you both kind of, settle down a little bit, and kind of cooling off period, I think that you're going to be able to create what you want out of your future. Yeah. And this is again about celebrating the joys in life, right? Your wealth, and wealth doesn't necessarily mean money or anything tangible. It could just be the wealth of, of just caring for somebody unconditionally, for example, right? Having love in your life. Right? Someone spending time with you, that's wealth, right? You can't buy that with money. So that's how I interpret the Nine of Pentacles. Again, I don't like to think about it as like just pure material wealth, right? This is about you showing gratitude for the wealth that you have in your life. So this individual is going to come forward and realize the wealth that they have with you. And you're both going to really bask in that. Six of Cups, yeah, you're both looking at the past, right? Though you're both hard-headed and really set in your ways, you're still looking at the happy things in the past. You're looking back at the past and going, but we had such great times. I really care for this person, and you're going to come back together, right? And again, there's going to be a lot of charm, and there's going to be a lot of, affection that's being shown, and you're going to, that's what's going to be present here. You're going to come together. Someone here is going to apologize. Someone has to, right? And you're going to both work towards, having more harmony and love and caring. Look at that. You've got the Lover's card. So clearly, both of you are going to come together. Once somebody, opens up, you're going to come back together, because really this is the most powerful card that suggests commitment. And you're going to realize that your commitment for one another is so strong, and that you were divinely put together, right? That the universe really had a purpose for you guys coming together. You're going to reminisce about the past and enjoy the wealth that you have for one another, which is love, right? You can't buy love. That is something that's a different thing. So be happy that you have that bond with this person, that commitment. Yeah, and this person's going to want to discuss the future with you, laying down some plan so that you both can get to your goal of being together, of being united. I'm surprised that the Four of Wands isn't on here, which is, marriage. This is a new opportunity that's coming your way. Again, this is a new opportunity for love, of coming together. Seven of Wands is, you may, again, this is about competition. Be careful of that. I think Spirit is trying to tell you, be careful of your energies. You both have such strong, powerful energies. but you want the same things, which is love, but be careful because you're going to fight. You're going to end up fighting. The moon, yeah, use your intuition to kind of help navigate this. Use your intuition, not necessarily, which means take a step back for a second before you go after each other. I think that's what it's trying to say here. Let's take a look and see if we've got any other oracle cards here for you. All right, so yeah, conversation, they want to talk with you, right? Page of Swords, they're going to reach out. You're a better person than I am. They feel unworthy of being with you, and you're irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched, and that is why there is this Lover's card here, because they see such a deep connection with you. You are irreplaceable, Aries. Indecisive, yeah. So they don't know. They're confused, right? That's why we have the Knight of Pentacles. It's about decisions. It's about balance. So their indecisiveness, they know, has affected this relationship. All right, let's see. Let's do some love oracle cards. See if we've got any angel messages here. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Lovely. Lover's card. Let go of control issues. What did I say? When you guys you have two kings here, which is about power and control. So angels are saying you need to let go of control because then you're going to be competing with each other, and then you have the fighting. Pay attention to the red flags. Yeah, so know all of your flaws. Understand your flaws. Understand the other person's flaws too. And don't use it against them. Use it for them. So if you know that this person's super hypercritical, you're going to have to learn how to speak their language, and vice versa, right? Both of you need to figure each other out and communicate a little bit better, right? Keep an open mind, just like I said. Keep an open mind. Try to figure out what makes the person tick, right? How do they behave? What makes them do the things that they do? How do we get into such bad conflicts with one another? Keep an open mind. It's not always about you having to be right. It's about you guys coming together, because ultimately you do have the Lover's card right there, right? So Aries, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're well. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.